Good afternoon, everyone. Take two for those who are watching. Apparently there was no sound. I appreciate the comments. My staff is watching your comments right now to make sure that there is sound. Okay, I got a thumbs up. Philip, that was very funny, by the way. Shh, I can't hear. All right. So how about if I tell you what I said? First of all, happy Wednesday. I'm happy to see everyone. I appreciate the comments. Once again, I'm privileged to be a physician in a beautiful town. I'm privileged to be a physician. I'm privileged to give you this information and continue to keep you informed about something that's so devastating for our country and our world. First, I want to touch on a question about, or a comment that was made about COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 on surfaces. And let's clear up that misunderstanding. SARS-CoV-2 is a virus that, when on surfaces, if you touch it, and you touch your face, your nose, your mouth, it's very possible for you to get the disease, COVID-2. It's not as prevalent as if someone who has the virus coughing at you, sneezing at you, talking to you. But the infection rate or the infectivity rate from surface to you is not zero. You can catch it. Dr. Fauci mentioned that they found it's not as prevalent. Well, I'm going to clear that up a little bit. I admire Dr. Fauci, but I'm going to clear it up. We didn't know how prevalent it was in the beginning. We don't know how prevalent it is right now. We just know that it occurs. And I ask everyone to continue to use their brains, to think, to use the information you get to make you smarter, but to not be sheep. If the surface is germy, you touch it, you touch you get germs. We've known that for a very long time. SARS-CoV-2 is no different. It's a virus, it's on surface, you touch it, you touch your mouth, you get the virus. Do you get sick? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on your immune system. Depends on a couple other factors, a number of factors. The take home here is soap and water kills the virus. Use soap and water on your surfaces, particularly those high touch surfaces, faucets, doorknobs, dresser drawer knobs, things like that. Steering wheel in your car. And you're less likely going to be exposed to it. Okay? Soap and water kills the virus easily. Easily. Okay. Switch gears. Across the United States, restrictions have been lifted. Death rate, COVID-19, death numbers have hit 112,000. About 2 weeks ago, give or take, the number just hit 100,000. Well, we're at 112,000. 112,000 of people who are our grandparents, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, 112,000. You know, we get almost numb to the numbers sometimes. You know, that's just a number, 112,000. These were 112,000 people who were alive before they contracted SARS-CoV-2. And the majority of people, if not all of them, contracted SARS-CoV-2, most likely by being around people who were not wearing facial coverings, who were not keeping a social distance. Maybe in the beginning, people didn't know they were supposed to. Maybe in the beginning, people were confused whether or not they were supposed to wear facial coverings, because we know how confusing the media made it to be. Not just the media, maybe even the experts. But there's no confusion right now. Facial coverings, social distancing, shelter in place when you don't have to go out protects you and protects others from contracting a virus that is potentially fatal. Particularly fatal to people who are at risk, people with chronic diseases. We talked about the list before, and people over 65 years of age. The East Coast, New York included, great job. The reason why you're able to ease restrictions is because in your area, you guys did a great job sheltering in place, facial coverings. Certain businesses were asked to not open, and the numbers started going down. The curve flattened. New York, the curve bent downwards. But in the United States, the numbers keep going up. More people are dying every day. 1,000 people yesterday. 1,000 people died from COVID-19 yesterday. We still have an issue. Multiple states are seeing a rise in numbers. And we are one country. We are one world. Touch base about Arizona today. Arizona. Give or take 30 days ago, they flattened the curve. Right, New York? You flatten the curve. Arizona, flatten the curve. What does that mean, flatten the curve? What it means is the curve flattened, the number of cases stopped increasing at a significant level, and hospital admissions started going down. And that's important because when hospitals are at 75% occupancy, that's considered an emergent situation. Because a hospital that is at 75%, or the beds are 75% filled in hospitals, there's not a lot of room to handle much more disease, emergencies, non-COVID issues. So that's our cutoff. When we say a hospital is at 75%, that's an emergent situation. At its peak, give or take 30 days ago, Arizona had a hospital occupancy rate of about 78%. Today, Arizona is at 76%. It is an emergency in Arizona. They had restrictions in place. They flattened the curve. Restrictions no longer were in place. They have a medical emergency right now. Every one of you that's listening to this, I am confident that you are smarter than what you're hearing on the news, social media. It makes sense if you just think about it. We have a respiratory virus that spreads easily. It's invisible. You don't see it. Spreads easily. Kills people. Kills the weakest or the sickest in our communities. It's carried by the strongest. Given to the weakest. And the weakest die. We have no vaccine. We have no treatment. But if 80%, it's a big number, if 80% of the population used facial coverings, sheltered in place when necessary, social distanced when they were out, we would stop this virus. We would stop the virus. And we would stop people from dying. 112,000, 1,000 yesterday, 112,000 so far. Within the last 100 days, people have compared this death rate, oh, it's not so bad compared to fill in the blank. Our 112,000 occurred in the United States in 100 days. That is a big number. The numbers would have been much worse. But for those of you who followed the precautions, you lowered the numbers. You flattened curves. We are far from over. I don't mean to be pessimistic. I think we can take care of this. But we have to not be influenced to a point where we don't know what to do. We know what to do. Our mothers told us what to do. Our grandmothers told us what to do. When you're sick, cover. Cover your mouth. You're sick, stay home. You're sick, don't get too close to me. We've heard that since we were kids. Well, don't get too close to people. Facial coverings all the time when you're out. Go out, but stay outside. Do things that are not so tight, 80% of the population, if they use facial coverings, social distance, shelter in place when they can, for 30 days, we would have no more virus. We would have so little virus that the rest would just die off, is most likely the case. I'm looking for some good news to give you. I just have to give you it straight. I look forward to doing this again tomorrow. God bless you all. Stay safe. Good night.